We want to make God predictable. We want to get him on our own terms. We want to have strategies and keys and techniques for being able to get God under control and in our life. And that's not how he works. One of my favorite quotes is, "God comes to us disguised as our life." And everything in life changed for me at that moment when the doctor called. She said, "My husband had a brain tumor and we need you to go to this particular hospital." And I said, "Okay, well, when? What day?" And she said, "Now. Go now." So Terry had surgery to remove a brain tumor that was benign. He couldn't stand up by himself. He had no balance. He had quadruple vision. He couldn't swallow or talk. And people have often asked me, "Do you question God? Did you question God? Why do you think God let this very effective missionary, Terry, why did he let him have a brain tumor and have to come out of ministry?" But I felt as though I was immersed enough in the story of what God is doing in the world that I knew what God was up to. It's what he's always up to. He is bringing the kingdom to life in our messed up world and in us. So I didn't really ask that question. The hardest moment for me was really when we moved back to the States, because I felt like that scene in Out of Africa when she says, "This is not what I thought would happen to me now." I didn't expect that my life as an exciting missionary behind the Iron Curtain, that would change. That was the life I expected. When I stood up at a Christmas conference when I was a student and said, "Here I am, Lord, send me." Being a missionary behind the Iron Curtain, well, that kind of fit that description. Living in the suburbs with your minivan, that really didn't fit that description. So that was the hardest moment for me. I felt like I basically said goodbye to my life as I knew it. Friends, our home, our ministry in Eastern Europe, and we moved back to the States. I remember getting off the plane in Seattle with 11 big bags, 3 kids, Terry, who could not stand up by himself. He could walk as long as someone was holding him up, but he had no balance. If you let go of him, he'd just fall down. He's 6'5". And got off the plane, and there was nobody at the gate to meet us. So I went in the ladies' room, and I looked at myself in the mirror, and I said, "You can do this." And I went out and I did it. And we saw God take care of us. There were moments when I just almost physically felt the sense of God's upholding peace as I took care of Terry and the kids and adjusted to life in America that was very different than the life that I had expected. God isn't efficient in the same way we think of it, but he is unstoppable in what he is doing. He takes every interruption, every unexpected thing that comes into our life, and all those years of the things that we'd experienced, that God had been in a way packing my suitcase with things that I would need in the future, that he knew I would need, that I didn't know I would need. And then he began to use all that. And I never thought that I would have any kind of ministry again, really. But God opened doors in ways that I never imagined. I found that there was a place for me, that he gives us a path to walk. He doesn't give us a map. And I found that as I walk that path with Jesus, that path is what takes me to where I want to be. I never know where it's going, but I know that it's with Jesus on this path, that I'm following him. So anytime anyone says, this is the new key to the Christian life, I think, yeah, well, God changes the lock whenever you think you've got the key. The key is Jesus himself, who is everything that we need. Be content to be the object of his mercy and depend on nothing else. I can do that. It doesn't really take much to be an object of mercy. And that's what I want to be. That's what I can be.